Be strong and get healthy. Stretch. Feel great about yourself and have some fun. It's time for you. Fitness is the key to your future. Don't get locked out. Take the challenge. Commit to be fit. Happy Valentine's Day from Commit to Be Fit. I'm Susie Smith, and February is just about the best time that I can think of to talk about heart health. I've noticed over the years that people don't think about their heart when they're exercising, and they just work the muscles that they can see. And the heart is actually the most important muscle. And as we talk more about the heart, you're going to see that there's such an order and design and purpose that our heart has. And it's just phenomenal what it does and what it is. This is representation of a heart. And our hearts really don't look like this, but if Valentine's Day wouldn't be the same if we had an actual shape of the real heart. It's not as pretty as this. But the heart is in the center of your chest, and it leans off to the left a little. The heart has a left atrium over here and a right atrium, and on the bottom is the left ventricle and the right ventricle. So what happens every time your heart beats and this blood goes? Well, we know the blood leaves the lungs, goes into the left atrium on the left side of your heart, and it flows down to the left ventricle. Then it goes out. It's kind of elastic there, so it flows easily, but as it gets to the extremities, it's going to be a little harder, so the blood vessels have more muscle, so they're pushing it down to the end of your body. It's dragging all of that waste product up to the right atrium, down to the right ventricle, back into the lungs, purifies your blood, rids you of infection. You exhale it out in carbon dioxide. So all this is going on. You could pass out, you could get knocked out, you can be asleep, and your heart's still working. So now that we know pretty much, a basic way of how the heart works, and if you need to know more, just contact your American Heart Association or the local hospital, and you can find classes if you need to learn more in depth about the heart. Don't fear fats. It's okay to have fat in your diet. It's just the type of fat. We need fat to, keep everything going, and for our joints and our heart health, we need fat. So instead of using butter or lard or, fatty meats and gravies and all that stuff that we eat for Thanksgiving, that once or twice a year, that's fine to really overdo, but most of the time, try to choose good fats like olive oil, canola oil, peanut oil, and I really like olive oil. You can't use it over high heat, but other than that, you can use a canola oil or, a healthier version. I like a Smart Balance, it's called. I like that. It has unsaturated fat. You want to stay away from the saturated. So just kind of check labels and see, how much saturated fat. We want to try to stay away from the trans fat and that sort of thing. So keep fat in your diet. Just make a better choice on fat. The next thing would be for heart health would be to keep moving. Exercise, because you have to keep moving, and it can be moderate exercise. That's totally fine. But you want to get out of that comfort zone again. I know we've talked about that before. You need to get that heart moving so that you can bring more oxygen in, and that will help purify your blood, and that's going to make your heart really happy. My dad once told me he was a postman for 30 years, and he had a walking route, and he would walk like 15, 20 miles a day for many years. And he told me that when he retired, and a lot of his friends retired, he lost quite a few of his friends. And I remember that, as he retired about 62, and 3 or 4 of his friends died within a year or two. And it was because they retired, They sat on the couch, they ate, and they watched television. And it's totally fine to do that, but not all the time. You've got to keep moving. And I think about that, the little story that my dad told me, because it's really true, because my husband and I just retired within the last year. And so we've taken up bicycling, and during the winter we bought an indoor trainer so that we could bike while we're watching TV. And you know, there's just all kind of ways that you can get exercise in. Okay, the next thing that you can do for your heart health is don't worry, be happy. And I know that's hard, controlling stress. But stress is one of the #1 killers, and it will do damage to your heart, all the systems in your body. It will break you down. So you need exercise to get more oxygen in your body, to feel more relaxed. And a way that you can do that is deep breathing. And we're going to do that at the end of the show. I'm going to show you how to do some deep breathing. And that will get more oxygen into your body, and it will relax you. And maybe take a yoga class, or just, you know, anything that will relax you. You need to do that every day. And another thing that's good for your heart would be a social environment. You need to have friends and family. You need to have a support group that will help you make it through life's transitions. We have a lot going on all through our lives, and if you're just isolated, people tend not to be as healthy. And if you have a social group that you belong to, church group, a walking group, anything like that, that's going to be great. That's really going to help. Now, if somebody were to ask me, what is the #1 thing that would be good for heart health? If I could only do one thing in this world for my heart, and I know some of you aren't going to want to hear this, but when I think about the #1 thing that you should do for your heart, it reminds me of a TV show. And I know there's a lot of you out there that have seen this show, because I rushed home every day from school. 4 o'clock, my brother John and I would, you know, we'd have our munchies and everything. We'd sit down after school, and we were there for the Paul Shannon Adventure Time. There was a character on the show. His name was Nosmo. Does anybody remember Nosmo? Well, Nosmo represents the #1 thing that you can do for your heart. And for years, I didn't know what Nosmo meant. Well, his last name is King. And he came on the show, and it was actually Paul Shannon. We realized later on, of course. But he had a big coat, and he had a fake nose and glasses and a big hat. His name was Nosmo King. Nosmo King. No smoking. #1 thing. And I know you don't want to hear it if you're a smoker, and I'm not going to preach to you, because I'm an ex-smoker, and you're not going to quit until you're ready. And you really have to want to quit. And if the nice thing these days, when I quit almost 31 years ago, I started lifting weights the next day, because it's really hard to quit. And we didn't have patches back then. And we didn't have, we had the American Heart Association, and they gave us different tips on how to quit. But nowadays, you really do have more resources on how to quit smoking. So just think about Nosmo King on Adventure Time, and that'll make you smile and maybe think about quitting smoking. So that's the #1. And some natural ways to raise oxygen in your blood is simply deep breathing. And you want to just take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And when you do that, you want your ribs to expand. You want your stomach to come out. And I know we're taught, you know, from the day we're born, hold your stomach in. When you're deep breathing, inhale in. Let the ribs expand. Let your stomach come out. And as you exhale through the mouth, let your stomach come in and let your ribs close. So you want to really think about doing that maybe 3 or 4 minutes a day. That's not very much to ask. 3 or 4 minutes a day of deep breathing. And as you inhale, just think of a balloon on each side of your rib cage, expanding. Inhaling through the nose, expanding. Your stomach blowing out, expanding. And then as you exhale through the mouth, stomach comes in first, ribs close in. And another thing you can do is just take your shoulders up as high as you can. Inhale, exhale, and just pretend that all of the tension is just running off of your fingertips. So do that 3 or 4 minutes a day. You're going to feel so much better. You're going to get a lot of oxygen in there too, and your heart's going to be really happy. And of course, the other thing that you can do to raise oxygen in your body is to exercise. So today we're going to do a fun exercise that uses large muscles, and that's what you want to do. You want to use large muscles. We're not just going to do bicep curls. That's not really doing a whole lot for your heart. You need to move. So if you have a big ball, get your big ball. If not, I brought little balls today too. If you don't have a big ball, and maybe one of your kids or grandkids has a small ball laying around, you can use this too. So let's get started. And what I want you to do is just get your ball and hold it, like right in the center. I'm going to turn a little bit so you can kind of see my form. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a squat. And I want to show you the squat. My knees are always behind my toes when I squat. My head should be level. I don't want my head up here because it's crimping the back of my neck. I want to pull my chin in, and I want to squeeze this ball. And I can see the line down my pants should be fairly straight. If my knees are out here, you're going to see that that line goes, and this puts your knees in a really bad position, really bad situation. So get lined up with your feet about hip width apart, and as you inhale down, push the ball out. And then as you exhale and come up, you're going to squeeze your back muscles like you're squeezing a sponge between your shoulder blades. So we're going to be working a lot of muscles here. So inhale, exhale, squeeze the ball, and then release the ball a little bit. Exhale up, inhale, sit back, and exhale up. Ah, this feels good. This is going to wake up your body. So you're inhaling and exhaling. And if this is too much, you can just squat. You don't have to get the upper body into it right away. That's just something you're going to want to do as you progress. And I'm going to say with this ball workout, if the big ball's too much, remember we've got the little balls. Same thing. You're going to squat down and come up. So either way, but I would like you to do, on all the moves I'm going to show you today, hopefully you could do 4 sets of 8, so maybe 32 reps of each exercise. So mostly I'm going to show you form. I'm not going to go through all the repetitions today, but I'm going to show you the form. And exhale up. Inhale. Come up and squeeze. Good job. Okay. Another thing you can do is just put the ball in front of you. These are warm-ups. So you're going to step really wide. And if this is too low for you, what I sometimes do at home, I have a step that I can put down, or like a long box. It's a step aerobic, and I can sit it on there. But if you can get your legs out here and just start to roll and start to lunge. Now, if you have bad knees, you're going to want to be careful on this. And breathe. Now, as you get more warmed up, you're going to add more muscles into it. Notice how my legs are just lunging, and I'm just pushing the ball. And it's always fun when you work out with a ball. For some reason, when I bring the balls into class, the little balls, I'll just dump out a bag in class, and everybody just starts laughing because we're kids again. We've got the balls, and we're playing. We're playing ball. So now I'm going to kick us up a little. I'm going to start to pull my arms up. And now I'm working my lat muscles. Inhale, exhale, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Breathe, breathe. Looking good. So try 4 sets of 8. So you'll start with your squats, 4 sets of 8. You'll go side to side on the rolls. And then come back to standing. Another thing it's good to do is just stepping side to side. Stepping side to side. Step, tap, step, tap. Looking good. Swing the ball. Swing. And there you're warming up your shoulders. Oh, I'm really getting warm already. And breathe. So step and tap. And as you get a little better, a little more warmed up, you take that ball a little higher. And good. I hope you're doing this with me at home. Even if you're in a chair, you can get a little ball and you can warm up those shoulders. As you get a little better, we add on. And I'm just going to stay on one leg at a time. Tap and tap. Now the other leg. 2, 3, 4. And if you want to, you can alternate. This is going to be harder. So on this move, level 1 would just be stepping side to side. Level 2, you're starting to move the ball. Level 3, the ball is up there. And then you lift. And you start with singles. And then you switch sides and do the other leg. And then you alternate. Oh, I'm getting my heart rate up. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is a simple grapevine. And a grapevine is 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. 2, 3, tap. And if you've done any group fitness, this is your basic move. Side to side is probably the most basic, and then grapevine. So 1, 2, 3, and tap. 2, 3, and tap. We're going to add a circle. Tap. 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 I can hear some creaking going on. I can hear a little click in my shoulder, hear a little click in my ankle. Oh yeah, you're going to hear some stuff. That's okay. And breathe. Looking good. Okay. Now we're going to go into torso rotation. And after we go through these moves, we'll put them all together and I'll show you how to do a little routine. I want you to step forward with one leg. And I find it's best for the knees if you do this in the split squat. You can do them like this. You can do torso rotation with your knees forward, but you notice when you turn how it kind of puts a little torque on your knees. And I always try to protect my knees. So I put one foot forward, one back. And you're only going to twist over the leg that's in the front because it's not coming. The other leg's holding it back. So I would say do the split leg version instead of the forward one. Even if you're taking a class, you can always modify and do this so your knees don't have to be tweaked. So you're going to inhale first, squeeze that ball, and exhale. As you inhale, you loosen up on the ball, and then exhale. Inhale up, and exhale. Looking good. Now, if you want to make this a little bit harder, you're going to add the lunge. Well, actually, it's a split squat when you're in a stationary position. So you'll inhale. As you exhale, you'll lunge and you'll twist and look over the ball. And then you'll come back up. And breathe. Every time you exhale, when you come over, try to think about squeezing the ball, getting your chest muscles involved, because we're getting all the big muscles involved with the ball. Okay. And of course, you'll do that on the other side. And breathe. You don't have to add the squat. You can just stay right here and just twist. Because I don't know, you may have had a knee operation and that may be a little hard for you. So always modify. Okay, and anytime the ball is overhead, it's going to be a lot harder to work out. So you got it overhead, You're moving. You can bring it down here. But anytime you have the weight overhead, it's going to be harder. And you can step tap and push it up. And push it up, or you can just scoop it side to side. Okay, and one of the nicest things to do for your abs are figure eights with the ball. So you start basically in a basic position, and when you come over, your hand is on top and your hand is on the bottom. And what that does is that really stretches out the shoulders down into the back, and it feels really good. But it's good for your abs. This is an excellent ab workout, not only a stretch. So you'll take it over, and then over, and then over, over, and just making figure eights. And each time, one hand's on top, one's on bottom. And one hand's on top and one's on bottom. And breathe. Now, this is level 1. If you want to kick it up a little, add the side to side. You've got that heart rate going. Looking good. Okay. We're going to put all these together and make a little workout. I'm just going to do 8 of each move, and I want you to start out with 8 of each move and put some jamming music on, you know, something that has a good beat, some house music, and just kind of get into the rhythm of it. And I'll show you about the speed you should be going, and then you can choose the type of music. But start with your squats. I'm going to do 8 of everything, and we're just going to go through. So inhale 1 and 2. Inhale down. Inhale. Inhale. Squeeze the ball. 6. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And last one. And then we put it down and we go side. 2. And lunge. 4. And 5. And 6. Feels good. 7. And 8, and we go side to side and swing. 3 and 4. Want to make it harder, get down a little bit and come back up. Looking good. Just use those muscles, get it out there. Add a leg lift, left, left, tap, left, tap. 4 more this side. 3, 2, other side. Here we go. 1, 2. So see about the speed that I am on this. Not too fast. 5, 6, 7, 8, and bring it here. And we grapevine. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, and tap. Add the ball. Add the ball. You can push it out, or you can swing it in circles. Swing it around. Now you might. I've had shoulder surgery, but my shoulder's good. If you're not to that point yet, if you have shoulder problems or you've had surgery, you might not be able to do this for a while. So just pace yourself. You can be here, pushing the ball out. Looking good. Okay, and here we go with torso rotation. You're going to put one foot out. Move that chair out of my way a little bit. One foot out, and inhale first. And as you exhale, twist. And you don't have to squat. Remember, you can stay up. Here's 2. And exhale, squeeze the ball. And try to be the ball. Look over the ball. Look over your shoulder. This will improve your balance. And it will also improve your cardiovascular system. Feels good. Let's take it to the other side. And we're going to put one foot forward. I'm getting warm. It feels good. I'm getting a lot of oxygen in. 2. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze. Good. And 4. and 6. And squeeze that ball. And 8. Good job. And we come up with side to sides again. Now remember, I'm just doing 8 right now. You're going to be working up to 4 sets of 8. I'm going to try to do some overhead pushes. Now if I want to make it a little harder, remember, I squat it down a little. You can be out here, no problem. Good. Now we stay still for figure 8s. Good. And start by doing these first by themselves before you start moving. And we'll take it side. And 2. And 3. Get that hand on the top of the ball. And 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. Good job. Take a big inhale up. And exhale down. We're going to come to seated on the ball. And there's a nice way at the end of your workout. You want to come to seated, and it's a nice way to sit on the ball. A safe way would be to center up. And you don't want to have your legs touching the ball. You want to be out about shoulder width. So, whew, that was a good workout. So we'll take a nice inhale. Your feet are shoulder width. You're seated nice and tall. Take a nice inhale up. And as you exhale, just reach through the fingertips. And let's try some of that deep breathing. Inhale up. As you exhale, blow it out through the mouth. And take one shoulder over and just stretch it. Just drop the shoulder down and stretch. Good. Bring the other one up, and you're going to stretch it over. And that feels really good in the shoulder. I've worked a lot of work on my shoulders. I have hooks in this one, and I have no problem. It's bionic now, so you can work through operations if you have to. You know, you have to start slowly, and it's just great, though. Practice the deep breathing, do some stretches, and I'd like to put a shout out to my friend Sharon in New York. Hi, Sharon. She always watches my show on Commit to Be Fit on YouTube, and you can check them out on YouTube through BPTV. But she's following my show, and she gives me lots of information, and she helps me a lot. She's a workout partner of mine from many years ago, and one of the best workout partners. But I just like to say thanks for helping me and watching my show. And you really want to take care of your heart. I don't know how I can tell you any more about how important it is, because it's just, if your heart would stop doing what it does every day, all day long, you would die. It would just take a couple minutes and you would die. So think about how important it is to keep your heart healthy, because you want to be here for your loved ones and your grandkids and your friends and family. You really want to take care of yourself. I want you to take care of yourself. I care about you. I really do. And if you're planning on giving your heart to someone, make it healthy. Take the challenge. Commit to be fit.